Hey, working on the 93 Ranger today, and I totally forgot the start of this project, so forgive me for that. Then I thought, hey, maybe some people want to see this. So it's got a bad forward rear spring mount on the driver's side, and I'll show you that once we get the bed off, but they're far easier to work on when the bed's off. So I took the cap off of it, pretty straightforward. The bed comes off real easy. There's probably other videos out there about it, but I figured I'll just include it here. There's 6 bolts in the bed. Here they are. They can be testy to get out. Now I don't live in a massive rust belt, but still these back ones here, they're in good shape, but they were tight. And I thought there's nut clips on the backside, so I sprayed the backside of these down with my favorite lube. I use LPS2 right now. I've used PB Blaster in the past. Use what you want, but spray the back of them down liberally. The impact is handy. But some of these were so tight, my cheap impact would not take them out. But the breaker bar did. It's a T55 Torx on there. It's a 3/8 drive, but I have my impact adapter to jump it up to 1/2 inch, so I can put the big breaker bar on it. So the breaker bar did work to break these 4 in the back loose. 2 of them, the forward 2, those came out with the impact once they were loose. These back ones would not come out with the impact. And then the forward ones did actually both come out with the impact. So there's 6 bolts there. And aside from that, there is just one electrical plug. It's here in the back. You can even actually see it right here. But the wiring comes from the front. There's one plug right there, unplugs the rear taillights and all that. The mud flaps stay on the bed. You can see them here. There's mud flaps and there's a wire brace that goes up, but it stays with the bed. So the mud flaps stay on the bed. The filler neck is the only other thing that I got to take care of. Unbolt that from inside the filler door here. And that should be everything, unless I'm forgetting something. But there's some screws down inside here to undo the filler neck so it stays with the bed. That should be it, I think. We'll see. Okay, so here we go. We got the bed off. Just lifted it off, one person on each side, lifted it up high enough to clear the gas filler tube. And here's the back of the truck, and it's a lot rustier than I was able to tell underneath. So it does have brand new rear leaf shackles and mounts back there, but I knew this was here. I could see that. And I bought the replacement pieces that go here to go in sandwich in behind here to strengthen the back of the frame, because it's a common problem. But and then I found that the forward leaf mounts here were getting pretty bad. They're starting to fall apart. That was a couple months ago, or several months ago. It sat for most of the winter. I didn't drive it much. But then when I got this bed off, it's just weird how these cross members have just completely rotted away. Both these cross members underneath here they're just gone. And then I'll show you this hanger over here. This other leaf spring, because it is very, very bad. So this side frame is worse. Frame itself is starting to fall apart. I don't know, but the side of it is actually in pretty good shape. But there's the bad front leaf spring hanger. Since I looked at it last, it's collapsed. It's pushed its way all the way up in there, and it's just about ready to fall off. So it's a good thing I decided to get to this now, because it just wouldn't make it any longer. There's your filler tube. Those 3 little screws go in there, and then when you pick the bed up, you just got to lift it up over that to clear it before you can go forward. But besides that, pretty easy. The bed's actually pretty light, so I might call it a quits for today. Tomorrow, gonna get to work on that right there. That's priority number 1, to knock that old one off of there. I've got brand new ones. Replace that. This I'm gonna have to do something, because this cross member is what this fuel tank mounts to, and this one right here is the rear fuel tank mount right there. Yeah, that's not doing any good anymore. So our fuel tank, that's one strap in the back. There's one over here on this side that goes through here. So, and then I'm not sure what it mounts to over here, but okay, got the GoPro today. Show you what we're doing here. So here is your forward spring mount on the right side. It's starting to fall apart, but the one on the other side, that's the one. Here is the issue. Like that, yeah, she was ready to go. Yeah, you can see how this crumpled here and pushed it up. So we're gonna unbolt this side, grind this off of here. There's only so much I can do here with this frame. Reinforcing pieces for these back here that go inside, on the inside of this channel, and they reinforce. You got to take all these bolts out, the bumper bolts out, and everything back here. You lay them inside here to reinforce this rear part of the frame. So I will be doing that. Okay, got my wrenches set up on here. It's a 13/16 and or 21 millimeter. It's obviously very rusty, but breaker bar, getting it to back off, so that's good. Get this bolt out of here, and then there we go. This tire is slightly off the ground, so it may drop a bit. I need this nut and bolt. This bracket's gonna stay here. Holds our emergency brake lines on that we don't use. Stuck in there. There it is. That spring had a little bit of tension on it. This is down. Work on grinding off all that. Spared you guys all the grinding and drilling and everything like that, but here's where we're at. Ground these down until I could punch them. They won't go through the frame because they're swelled up in here enough. The rivet is squeezed and swelled enough in the frame, so I was able to grind them down and then chisel this off. Now as soon as my compressor charges back up, I'm gonna have to grind these down flush with the frame to be able to punch them out. Be back with you, show you what this looks like once we get those punched out. We get our new unit set in place. So I got those rivets punched out, ground down, punched out. Here is the old one. Right here, right. And there is what it should look like. So you can see just how far that rusted and how far it crushed. It was shot. New ones, got them off Amazon. Come from who knows where, probably China. They come with new hardware. It's got a 15 millimeter bolt on this side. These are grade 8, actually 10.9 bolts. They're hardened steel bolts. This is a 15 millimeter bolt and a 19 millimeter nut. They've got them stuck in the bracket this way when it came, which is probably the way I'm going to put them in, just so I don't have to try and fish nuts onto the backside and start them. I can just put the bolts in the backside like this. This is why the bed should come off to do this. It makes it so much easier. It only took about an hour and a half to get this bed off. And if you're trying to reach up from the bottom and get these bolts at the top, it'd be massively harder. Way harder than the hour and a half it took to get this bed off the truck. Granted, I mean, some beds might not come off that easy, but actually got to push down a little bit on this spring. This one may have to go the other way, just because I can't get it. Yeah, I can't get that through the backside back there, so we're gonna have to get another socket for that one. Maybe one of those situations where I have a hard time getting my wrench out of here. Okay, day number 2. Got the forward spring mounts put on yesterday. The braces are already painted up and everything ready to go. So we're going to stick this all back together on this side, and then we're going to do that side. Ah, there we go. All back together again. Looking good. Thanks everybody for watching these. I'm going to have some more work done on my my Jeep as well, throwing that up. And we'll see what else comes our way. I've got another Ranger, newer, I think it's a 96. Maybe it's a 98. That I'm getting a hold of here. Doesn't run right, so stick around for that. That's coming up. I think it jumped time. Might need a timing chain redone. The guy who had it said he thinks it might be the timing chain guide broke, and it let it get loose and it jumped. It still runs, I guess, but I'll be picking that up here in a couple of days or a week or so.